Buongiorno, tiramisu time again, and today I'll be making something different, maybe unique, who cares, as long as it tastes nice. And it will be mostly based on hazelnuts and almond, but there will also be a hint of pistachio. And the bonus is that I will not be using any eggs, so if you're vegan, this is accessible maybe. But also I will not be doing any cooking. It's very, very easy to make, won't take very long, and it will look absolutely lush. I will very briefly run you through the ingredients so that you can get them ready. I will be using some ladyfingers, also some truffle sponges. They are very similar to ladyfingers. They are coated in sugar, but they are much softer, a bit like a very, very soft biscuit. Then here I've got some decaffeinated coffee, which is cold, and I've already added a couple of teaspoons of pistachio cream here. I will also be using some and this is almond cream, and this is hazelnut cream, fresh double cream, mascarpone, obviously, and these are almonds which I've also ground alongside some pistachio and some hazelnut, and sugar, 100 grams. And I'll make a start by whipping the fresh double cream first. And using an electric whisk, I'll start whisking the cream, but ensure that you do not do too much, otherwise it'll turn into butter. And that is enough, that's what you're looking for. Nice and thick, but not butter. I'm adding the mascarpone next, and the sugar. I forgot to mention, by the way, that I will also be using some vanilla extract. Actually, this is Essence vanilla. We bought that in the Caribbean when we went on holiday, and Julie said that it's the proper job.
Proper job, yes.
If you use some, 1 level teaspoon is enough. I will fold everything by hand first to see what consistency I've got, and then I'll finish it off with my whisk. The reason why I'm doing this is because I will be piping it later, so I want to make sure that it's not too liquid. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, it's good. It's nice and thick, and it should pipe quite well. And I'll start working on my base now, and I will place 6 truffle sponges on a plate. I'm using this plate because I'm making a square cake, and this is the best I could find, so that it looks quite nice. Once I move to the next layer, it is my intention to lay some sponge fingers on top, so I don't want to cut them. So I'm building a little gap, and in this gap I will be putting some pieces of truffle sponges. I need 3 pieces, so anything between, I think, half a centimeter and a centimeter would be enough. And just to make sure, I'll double check, and that's perfect, as it is symmetric. Here is my coffee, and I'm using decaffeinated coffee, and it is cold now, so if you're making this cake, make sure that your coffee is cold. And of course the floating bits is the pistachio, by the way. And I'm gonna be pouring it on top of my biscuits, but only a very little, because I don't want to make a mess on my plate, and it doesn't need to be a lot of coffee in here. You might be wondering why I've got pistachio cream in the coffee. That is because I made a pistachio tiramisu before Christmas, and I made too much coffee mixed with pistachio, so I had some in my freezer. So that is actually what gave me the idea of making this cake in the first instance. So I froze it, and I'm now using it. So I think it's okay. They are nice and soaked with coffee, but not an awful lot, and they will form a nice base. I'm now dividing my cream loosely into 3 parts, as I will want to mix it separately with the hazelnuts and the almonds. But for the purpose of the first layer, I will want plain, just the vanilla taste. So I'll put some cream in a piping bag. And I'm now going along and doing my piping on top of the biscuits. A little bit tricky because they're moving, but they'll be fine. I'm being quite careful and mean with the quantity of cream I'm putting in, because I want to make sure that there is enough to do the entire surface. But my vision for this cake is that as I will have 3 different shades of color, by the time it's finished it should look quite stunning. My cream is finished in the bag, and I don't really want to use any more because I need for the other 2 layers. So I'm using this spatula to just spread it across, as long as the outside edges good. That's what matters at the moment. Just like a normal tiramisu now, I am dipping my sponge fingers in my coffee, no more than 2 seconds, and then I will be putting them on top of my cake. And that is my last biscuit for this layer. Do ensure you leave a little gap depending on how much space you have, so that you end up roughly at the edge of this side. So this is the remainder of my cream. I'm going to draw a line in the middle so that I go 2 different halves, and I'll move half of it in a separate bowl. This is my hazelnut cream, and I'm going to be using 4 teaspoons. And likewise, I'll do the same with the almond. And I'm not actually using the electric whisk for this. I'm doing it by hand using my spatula, and I've been adding gradually my almonds, my ground almonds, and they go all in. And likewise, I'll do exactly the same with my hazelnuts. Ground hazelnuts go in. And that looks absolutely lovely. I said this in another video, but I find the filling off the piping bag the most difficult job in making a tiramisu. Just like I did with the base, I'm going around the edges first, and then I will worry about the middle at the end. And I've been again very mean with my filling, because I want to make sure that I've got enough for the entire surface. And as planned, I'm now spreading the middle equally so that I do not spoil the edges. And before I move on to the next layer, I'll sprinkle some ground pistachio, including the edges, so that will be visible by the time the little tiramisu is put together. And I'm off again. This time I'm starting from the right hand side and moving towards the left. And here is my very last one, which is perfect. So remember, a little gap in between. And lastly, the almond piping bag. And being that this is my last top layer, I'm going to be extra careful, because clearly it needs to look very nice. And I'm hoping that I've got enough to do piping all over. This is incredibly relaxing and rewarding as a job. And actually I've got more cream than I thought, so I'll use the rest in the middle. I'll do 4 in here and 1 on the top. And I'm now sprinkling a little bit more pistachio at the very top, as the green color will give it a beautiful contrast. I'm now doing some trimmings, so I'm putting some hazelnuts in each corner, and a few almonds in between. And one last sprinkle of pistachio, as you could do with a little bit more. And it's ready. 2 to 3 hours in the fridge, and we can then have a look. See you then. Bye. And as you might have guessed, it's just out of the fridge, a couple of hours, and I'm now cutting a nice slice.
Nice slice, that's a whopper.
And here we have Gabriella, my daughter, who is come to visit us from Manchester this weekend, and she's going to be the new official tester. So off you go, Gabriella.
Okay. Delicious. It's really hazelnutty.
Hazelnutty.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let her go. I'll let her go. We cannot trust her.
You can. She might need another mouthful.
Yes, she's your daughter. Yeah, it is hazelnutty.
Really nutty.
Nutty.
Lovely.
And delicious, and
And
actually
delicious.
quite light considering.
Yeah,
So
it is.
there it is, hazelnut and almond tiramisu with a touch of pistachio. Arrivederci, and thank you for watching. Hopefully, if you make it, you let me know how you get on. Ciao ciao.